Rapper AAB Hellabandz, whose real name was Amir Golston, was gunned down outside Club Cameo on South Beach, May of 2019, and it made national headlines.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about AAB Hellabandz. Now, Hellabandz was a Chicago drill artist who lost his life in 2019 in a high-profile shooting, man. Now, what made this so high-profile is the fact that the shooting took place in downtown Miami, South Beach, while everybody was in Miami visiting for a music conference, man. It was the same weekend as the big situation that happened with NBA YoungBoy and other people's camps, man. I'm not going to put them there because you know how that is going right now. But it was during the Rolling Loud Festival that a lot of things happened and went crazy in Miami, right? And one of the big headlines was the fact that AAB Bandz lost his life. Now, Hellabandz lost his life, and it was kind of a cold case, and people were wondering, what in the world would it ever be solved? Well, it looks like this weekend, or going into the weekend, they finally found the culprit that they believe, or the suspect that they believe, was the person who carried out the shooting. And this story has so many twists and turns to it, it's almost unbelievable. It's really a tale of revenge killings that go back, not in 2019, but back to 2015. Now, before we get to the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's look at this news report, and let's also talk about AAB Hellabandz. Now, we're going to preface this the right way, right? We're going to say rest in peace to AAB Hellabandz and anybody involved in this case, because there's another gentleman who lost his life as well. Now, in order for us to get a clear understanding, let's talk about exactly what went down in the situation in Miami in 2019. Now, everybody was in town, like I said previously, for the Rolling Loud Music Festival, right? It's supposed to be a good time, but it ended up being a weekend of some craziness, man. Now, that's not to say that the weekend was totally filled with that, but AAB Hellabandz murder was one of the things that took place that just made a bad mark on the music festival altogether. There were other shootings that took place, there were other altercations, but this was the most talked about and widely publicized shooting that occurred because of how brazen this shooting was, man. You had somebody who lost their life and was shot multiple times in front of hundreds, maybe even thousands of people in downtown Miami, South Beach, and the shooter didn't even care, man. He carried out the shooting without any type of regard. So of course that's going to make national headlines. And the fact that he was a rapper coupled on top of that made it really go viral, and the story really go viral. Plus, he's got affiliations with a lot of people. He was cool with Gervonta Davis. He's been seen in a lot of Chief Keef's music videos in the past. So it seems like he was well on his way of making connections in the rap game, and this was just a story that people could not stay away from. Now, in order to get an understanding of where we are as far as the developments and the suspect that was captured, let's look at a local news story real quick and check out this clip.
Rapper AAB Hellabandz, whose real name was Amir Golston, was gunned down outside Club Cameo on South Beach, May of 2019, and it made national headlines.
Austin Hall.
Now, 2 years later, police have arrested this man, Austin Hall, who they say is the same man seen in surveillance video running from the scene.
It was pretty brazen to assassinate somebody in the middle of the street next to a nightclub that was packed.
Okay, so in that news clip, we heard a couple of new details, right? We found out that the suspect's name is Austin Hall, and they have videotape allegedly placing him at the scene of the crime, right? And that, you know, he was seen running away from the shooting. So, you know, that could be an indicator that he was involved. That doesn't mean he was involved, but it could be an indicator. Now, Hellabandz, whose real name Amir Golston, he was obviously the victim in this shooting. And in the news story that's associated with this, it brings a lot of things to light. So let's go over that, man. So in this excerpt from that story, it says, detectives said Austin Hall, 26, now that's the gentleman who allegedly was running away, was the shooter, and that he had come to Miami Beach to settle a score with Golston. Now, Golston is Hellabandz. Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man, and I know you enjoying this video, but make sure you go and you follow me on social media platforms like Instagram, and also go to my Twitter page and make sure you hit that follow button there so you can get the latest and greatest updates of when I'm dropping my videos. And man, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button so we can spread this video around, and we trying to get 2,000 likes, so run them likes up. All right. Now, the story continues and it says this. It says, detectives said both of the men were not strangers to law enforcement. Galston, 24, was named as the alleged shooter in a March 2015 murder at a nightclub called Adriana's in south suburb of Chicago. Hall had just been convicted on an armed robbery charge, but came to Miami Beach before he was to have to turn himself into prison. Stop right there. So this dude went all the way to Miami to settle a score and get revenge for a shooting from 2015 before he turned himself into prison. I guess he couldn't go to jail with that on his chest or something like that, but that is wild to say the least, man. Obviously, these Chicago dudes, man, they do not stop and they do not give up, and I'm taking that as a middle note, man. Now, the story continues and it says, they said that in the news report. This is where the detective says it was a very brazen attack. But it continues to say this. It says, it was Saturday, May 11th, 2019 at 2:37 a.m. when 8 to 9 gunshots were heard in the area of Washington Avenue and Espanola Way, according to the arrest warrant. A Miami Beach police officer who was in the area heard the gunshots and witnessed a large crowd fleeing. It was then that the victim, later identified as Galston, was found unresponsive and motionless, lying on his left side in the 200 block of Espanola Way. The warrant said detectives identified Galston from a state of Arizona ID card found in his pants pocket. Stop right there. Now, okay, man, I'm not trying to give up no game or anything like that, but how come that's not the first time that I've heard of cats who are rappers or anybody, other type of cats who had an Arizona state ID card. What is up with that, man? I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know, man. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. But anyways, it continues to say this. Just a little more than a half an hour before the shooting, surveillance video showed Galston arriving in front of Cameo nightclub at 1445 Washington Ave at 2 a.m. on May 11th. At 2:35 a.m., he is then seen on video with several people walking east of Espanola Way. At 2:36 a.m., detectives said the suspect Hall arrived at Cameo nightclub with 2 other men. He is seen talking on a cell phone, and then all 3 walk on Espanola Way, just a few steps in front and behind Galston. It is when the victim gets to the corner of Espanola Way and Washington Ave that the 3 men, including Hall, walk in front of him. Hall steps in front of Galston, according to investigators. Words are exchanged, and Hall then punches Galston in the face. The footage shows the victim stumble and try to defend himself, but then he turns and runs away to try to flee Hall. Hall is seen chasing him, according to the warrant. Hall raises his right arm and points a gun at Galston, firing several rounds. Now, don't forget, Hall is the guy that's the suspect that's been arrested, and Galston is Hellabandz, right? So they said he fired several rounds. The rapper tries to avoid being hit by running between parked cars. The arrest warrant said that Galston then stumbles and falls face first to the ground as Hall chases him. Hall approaches him and stands above the victim, shooting him several times, striking him in the back of the head, in the back and head, as he lies motionless on the street, according to investigators. Another person was also found shot approximately 20 feet west of Galston. According to the warrant, he was taken to rider trauma with non-life-threatening injuries. Galston, aka Hellabandz, however, was pronounced dead at the scene at exactly 2:45 a.m., man. Sad situation, man. Now, it goes on to keep saying, it says, according to the arrest warrant, the shooting was retaliation for a shooting that Galston committed. Poro is the lead detective in this situation. Poro said his team started piecing together the case with surveillance video, telephone records, and the movements of Hall's associates which led them to Chicago and Chicago PD. So they're saying even his friends, they were tracking Hall's friends, and they saw, with his friends going back to Chicago, they contacted Chicago PD, and that basically helped them put the case together. Now, they're also saying that Hellabandz, they're talking about the situation with the shooting, and there was a report that was released like a year ago, and it said this. It says Chicago rapper identified as suspect in fatal 2015 Markham nightclub shooting has been killed. Now, the rumor is Hellabandz was hiding out in Miami because he knew that folks were on his tail, and, that's where he made a lot of his associations in the hip hop and entertainment world, and he started to focus more on his rap career and stay out of Chicago as much. But it looks like, according to this report and a lot of the sources online, that the folks that he was into it with, man, they definitely were still upset about that situation that took place. Not saying that he was involved because, nobody could prove that at this time, but they thought of it so much that they even tracked him down and, took his life. Sad situation. Now, all that's being alleged, and we don't know if the suspect really did this. Like I said, man, you're innocent until proven guilty on my channel, or in these videos that I make, I should say at least. But dang, man, crazy situation. What do you guys think about this story? Do you think that this Hellabandz story is just another cautionary tale of hip-hop? Or do you believe that, man, sometimes you just can't outrun your past and things are just going to catch you no matter what you do, and you're going to have to confront them? Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And with that, we out of here. Peace. Oh, yeah, and rest in peace again to everybody involved in this story. Sad stuff.